One, it's OG Giggity. Okay, y'all, I have a beautiful lady here, and we have some real important information that we want to talk about. So, without further ado, tell them your name. What's your name?
Hello, my name is Sheila Arnold.
Where you was born and raised at?
Actually, I was born in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, but I was raised in Indianapolis, Indiana. I went there when I was, my mother moved there after she divorced when I was about 2 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you have any children?
Yes, I have, well, I had 2 children. One of them passed away, and that's what this interview is about. But I had 2 sons. They were 10 years apart. And also, I had guardianship over 6 children because my sister, my only sister, she was killed by her husband. And I took all 6 of them in. He went to prison, and she passed. So I actually had 8 children, was raising 8 children. And Indianapolis, I want to say we lived on the corner house in Indianapolis. So I kind of raised the whole neighborhood too, because when you have 8 children, you kind of adopt the whole neighborhood in.
Okay, so you know how to cook?
Yes, yeah. I love to make my greens with smoked neck bones and of course the macaroni and cheese and banana pudding. Yeah, I know how to cook. With all those children, I learned to cook, and I learned to do like a quick chili, big pot of chili with 8 children, because some days I didn't feel like cooking, but I know how to throw it together.
Hold on, so you said with the macaroni and cheese, you said banana pudding, so you make macaroni and cheese and banana pudding together in one pot?
No, of course not.
No.
No, those are just some those are just some dishes that, actually really the children love. They love the greens, the macaroni and cheese, the spaghetti and meatballs, the chili, the fried chicken. They say I make some bomb fried chicken. I love, seafood, to make seafood, fish, all of that. Yeah.
What about red beans and rice?
Red beans and rice, yes. Make red beans and rice. It wasn't a favorite of the children, so I didn't make a lot of that. But I can make it. I mean, my hands, I can cook and love to make salads. I actually have a salad business called Summer Salads. And I make add up to about 20 ingredients in the salad. So, love that.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you dating right now?
No, I am not. I've been going through quite a bit right now, especially since the death of my son. But not right now. Mostly concentrating on my business. I have a nonprofit business here in Texas that I moved from Indiana to Texas. It's called Cornerstone City Mission, and I look for gifted and talented people, and I interview them, and I give them a platform. I'll rent an event spot, and I will get a band, a saxophone player, entrepreneurs to set up their table, and go in the community to look for gifted and talented people and give them a stage to express their talent, and also speakers like on trauma and different things that people are going through here in Texas.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, thank
now,
you.
You just said something grabbed my attention. You said your son. Can you walk me through what happened with your son?
Yes. Well, he was my baby boy out of my 2 biological children, and he was incarcerated. First of all, I'd like to say he was incarcerated in Indianapolis, Indiana, which Terre Haute, in Wabash Valley Prison. And he was a kind-hearted guy, and so he said, "Mom, if anybody ever needed a ride to the prison to see their loved one, I'm gonna call and let you know, and it's okay, you can bring them." So on November 9th, 2019, a young lady called me and asked me would I take her to Wabash Valley Prison to see her brother. Now, mind you, it was not my week to see my son, and his name was Brandon Lewis. It was not my week to see him. So I'm like, well, it's very early. Do I want to go or not? But I just remembered my son's voice, so I wanted to do a good humanitarian thing, and it's like I can do that. So on my way to the prison, taking her to see her brother called her phone and said there was a medical emergency in my son's room. He hung up, and then he called back, and he said that they were doing CPR excuse me, on my son. Then he hung up, and then he called back, and he said my son didn't make it. And I immediately started crying. I was frantic. I had called, my girlfriends before them to pray. And I was just all over the place, just very, very nervous. And the young lady said, do you want to just pull over? And I said, no, I need to get to the prison. So we proceeded to go to the prison. And when I got there, they said, who do you want to see? And I said, I cannot see him because my son just died in your prison. And so they immediately went and got the investigators, and he came out and he started talking to me and said, we believe this is your son that passed away, but we don't see any foul play, and asked me if I wanted to give them his body. And I'm a woman of God, so it's like small voice said, no, don't do it. So I said, no, I'll take my son's body like that. I'll handle everything. But I said, but I want to see my son. And they like, what? I said, yes, I want to see my son. And they said, ma'am, we don't do that in the prison. No one can go behind the prison gates and see their loved one. And then I fell to the ground and I said, I want to see my son. I need to see my son. And then they said, just a minute, ma'am, let me go talk to the warden. So when he came back, he said, you can see your son. So they put me in a sheriff's car and took me behind the prison, inside the gates, and no chaplain or anyone came out. I had no one to console me or anything. I just sat in the car and I just was praying and shaking and nervous, and I was all by myself. And I just asked the Lord to help me to be able to bear what I'm getting ready to see. And so they took me out of the police car and took me in the ambulance, and I seen the body bag. And of course I'm, just very nervous, and almost couldn't hardly breathe, but I take deep breaths. And they asked me, they said, are you ready? And I said, yeah. So they unzipped the bag just to his neck right here. And I went into shock to where I didn't open my mouth. I didn't say anything. It was going through my mind, that's my child. And this, I want to look at his face. I want to see everything that I could possibly see. What was wrong with his face. And what I seen, I did not understand. First of all, his eyes were open and they were like a black and purple. And his lips were like a black and purple. And he had this huge gash on his forehead, and his neck was turned to the side. And his color had changed, and I didn't understand that. I was just talking to myself, because it's like I didn't trust the ambulance people. I didn't trust anybody. I just felt like they were just the enemy, that I can't say anything to them. This is just between, I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry. That this is just between me and God. So I just kept walking around, looking from side to side, on his face, just try to see anything I could think of. And so, I just wanted to look at my child. And I was just wondering, why does he look like this? And he just died. I couldn't understand it. So anyway, after that, I'm just gonna zip a little bit forward. After we got his body to the coroner's office in Indianapolis, Indiana, the first thing the coroner said was, your son was in a struggle. And I cried. He let me see his whole body. And and I would like to share something with you. People are trying to call me, I'm sorry, but I need to show you this. I don't know. Can you see that very well?
Come up some more. Right there.
Okay. This is me, my Facebook page. If you would like to read more of my story and see more about me and my son, it's my Facebook page. And I wanted you to see, this is the gash that I seen on my son when I seen him in the body bag. This is me and him. And that's him alone in the prison. And I'm sorry. Please excuse me, I'm sorry. And these are some of the wounds. This was on his elbow, his arms, that I wanted to show you. Can you see that? Be able to see that? Okay.
What did they say was the cause?
Okay. Well, the autopsy said that he had multiple types of drugs in his body. They said that he took the drugs and that it was like a effect that he attacked himself, that he hit his head against the jail, bars and things like that. And because he had multiple wounds to his head, his scalp, he had brain edema to his head. And he had tichia in his eye. And he also, in the autopsy, said that he had a bone fracture in his neck. And he had other something on his back, like bruises on his back and like his legs. And when the coroner, like I said, seen his body and said, Sheila, your son, he was fighting for his life. They said that he was by himself, and they said that he had a knife and he had a lock, that he did all of this to himself. But as far as the autopsy, it does not prove that, and it does not say that he it doesn't match up, and it doesn't make sense that he did this to himself, especially when it seems that he was holding his arms up, like he was holding his arms up, excuse me, I'm sorry, that he was holding his arms up, guarding himself from someone trying to hurt him. And I've just heard like multiple stories that it is a cover-up. And a matter of fact, my son said, Mom, if anything ever happens to me, you're my queen. If anything ever happens to me, the guards had something to do with it. And he's just like, please get me out of here because they're trying to kill me, like that. And just like a lot of us, when you don't have a lot of money, you can't get a lawyer, you can't really do anything. And a lot of injustice in the system gets covered up, and it just passes you up because you don't have the right legal justice to help you. And so it's been very, 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 very hard for me. I've to see his body and every day go through this, knowing especially that they have covered this up and that my son did not die alone. And on my page, as you see, I put on my Facebook page, I wanted to be exposed of what Indiana prisons, just really prisons all over, what they are doing to our loved ones, and that it's, you know, it's negligence, it's abuse, and I want to show my part where the system has let me down and my son down, and in a cover up. And I've had multiple people like nurses, and I've had a few people that know about forensics to get on my page, and they say in writing, your son did not do this to himself. And they say, forget about the drugs. He and his system, I don't know if they, you know, choked him, put it down there, because there was a word in there where they said he was intubated. But how can, like the coroner, he had told me, he said, when you seen your son, and I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous, but when you seen your son, he had already been dead like 8 to 10 hours. So I'm like, what's intubation? It's when they're trying to keep someone alive. It's like, when did they do that? When did they do that? I'd like to know. So, and I'm found out later on, as I was trying to get help, the coroner, they introduced me to a lawyer, but he dropped the case, and he said that he believed all of the inmates, and he never did get all of like the ambulance report, the guards report. I haven't seen any of that. And my time was running out. So a friend of mine, he wasn't a lawyer, because they tried to give me a lawyer that was an employment lawyer, and it was like that. I think they're trying to just you know, get out of it. Just give me any kind of lawyer, the judge, because I have a right to legal representation. But an employment lawyer on a criminal case, I didn't trust it. I didn't have faith in it. So they were saying like, well, we did offer you counsel, but that's not right. I don't think somebody would even want a type of lawyer like that you didn't feel that it was qualified. So I had a friend to try to, well, he wrote up like pro se, so I can try to, you know, save the date and fight and look for other lawyers. So, and of course, you know, they did not let me represent my son's case because I wasn't a lawyer. So everything just dropped to the floor, and I've been desperately trying to find help and find lawyers, and just someone to look at it and prove that it was not an accident. It was murder. It was murder, because the evidence is there. The evidence speaks for itself. And so, like I said, it's caused me to, I'm currently homeless right now because I almost gave up. I couldn't sustain myself. You know, it was just hard. It's just been horrible. And bills piling up because wasn't able to go to work, and spending money trying to make myself happy, because I did not feel like I deserved to be happy. I didn't feel like I deserved to have joy, and felt very alone. And then when I lost my apartment, I slept in my car for a while. It was in the winter time. And then I got into a hotel, and currently now, then I got sick, and because I couldn't, you know, and I couldn't pay for the hotel. So currently now, I'm in a Airbnb room, renting there. And like I said, I'm a woman of God, and I know that I would not be able to make it if it had not been, you know, for Him helping me through all of this, because it's, you know, I have nightmares. I've taken counseling up because I want to win this battle, and I want to fight for my son. And his name was Brandon Lewis, but we called him Rock. And I'm trying to think about putting something together to rock for justice for all of us, not just for him, for all of us, because I've talked to multiple families and mothers of the death and the abuse of their loved ones in the prisons in the USA. And so, you know, I'm just holding on to God's unchanging hand, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. All I'm doing is just trying. And I just want to say, if you know a detective, a lawyer, or somebody, anybody that could help me and just dig into it, I'm willing to show you, send you everything that I have, so you can be convinced, so you can see what I see, that there is no way this young man killed himself by accident. And like I said, my Facebook page, Sheila Arnold, and you can email me at sheilaarnold429@gmail.com. Let's see. I think that's about it, where you can contact me, and I really would appreciate any help. Like I said, as far as you know, a lawyer that understands my position, and a lawyer that wants to see justice in this category of the prisons, the abuse and the neglect and death in prisons, and investigators, someone that's willing to look at all the paperwork and want to investigate and see the truth and help do something about it. I really need that. I don't have closure. I need it. I need this to go out everywhere, to anyone you can think of. And I want to be a voice, not just for my son, but all those that are incarcerated, because this is ungodly, it's horrible, and they are getting away with so much harm to the families and us, and we are suffering, and they continually break the law and get away with it. You know, I don't understand, but I want to be a voice, and I want everyone to come alongside me. And my prayer is one day that everybody ends up having multiple groups, like in Washington. Well, you know what? I would like to have all of us come together all over the United States from different prison groups, that we need to do a march. We need to be on Washington's step and saying, we're sick and tired of you letting the prison system get away with all of the injustice, from the phone calls, how much they charge to make phone calls, to, just everything, and just discretion, racism, all of it, anything, how you were affected. They need to be held accountable, because it is unconstitutional, from the heat, from the cold, you name it, all of it. And so I just reach out to you and just ask you to please help me in any type of way. And if anyone wants to donate any money to help me with my Airbnb, car payment, just different things like that, to help me get back on my feet. I am a very transparent woman. When you look on my Facebook page, you will see that. It is Believer. It's a small b, BELIEVER, Believer 2018. If God touches your heart to send me a monetary gift card, you know, you can let me know. But I just need your help all the way around the board, and I would truly appreciate it, you know. And I thank you, Terrence, for having me on. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to have a voice for my son, Brandon Lewis, for all that he has went through, and many others, the death of many others, and the mothers, they tell me that they are afraid of losing their loved ones in prisons as well. So I just thank you so much, Tony, and you know, God bless you all. I hope to hear from you, and I pray that someone out there multiple you will be able to help me. Thank you, and God bless you all.